Coming to you live from our studio, and now we turn to Washington, D.C., where we are joined live via Zoom by Nizar Farsakh, lecturer in international affairs at George Washington University. Mr. Farsakh brings extensive expertise in regional dynamics and international policy, and he joins us at a critical moment to help us unpack the latest developments and what they could mean on the global stage. Mr. Nizar, thank you for being with us. Let me start by asking, how are U.S. officials currently evaluating their range of options against Iran if tensions escalate further?
Thank you for having me. The main thing, I think, is measuring or calculating the indirect effects. So, of course, it's no secret that the U.S. Continues to bring reinforcements to the region to have a more viable military option. But the consequences on the global economy, if this war continues and if the further oil and gas assets are hurt or a further choking of the Hormuz Strait happens, are going to be very consequential, and therefore the U.S. is trying to prepare for how to deal with pressure from countries that are affected by the war, and that is not clearly it's not clear how well the U.S. is preparing for that.
Well, is military action genuinely on the table, or is Washington still prioritizing diplomatic channels at this stage?
For now, the drive is they're making definitely the military option at the table. They're not removing it at all, while being open to diplomacy, let's say that. So the point is to put pressure on Iran and make Iran feel that it is in its best interest to not only come to the negotiations, but also to come with a more constructive attitude, and one where it's more willing to concede.
Well, following the unsuccessful talk, sadly, what red lines would trigger a direct U.S. response against Iran, particularly in or around the Strait of Hormuz, as the U.S. is threatening a blockade of the blockade?
Yes, so it's if there is an attack, of course, on any U.S. assets, if the Iranian regime attacks energy facilities in the Gulf, if it seizes a ship that has an American flag or a flag of that's raising the flag of a country that's friendly to the U.S., all of these things can trigger or would be red lines that would require a response from the U.S.
Can you tell us about the current mood in Congress regarding escalation with Iran? Is there unity or division in the Congress?
There is division along party lines. The Republicans are supporting the president while the Democrats are against the president or against the war. However, there is a lot of popular discontent. The majority of Americans do not want the war. They do not understand why what's its utility. However, the Republicans continue to have a majority in Congress, and therefore they can shield the president from any action from Congress. But it's unlikely that the Republicans can do that for too long, because it will cost them in the elections in November. The Republicans are already losing a lot of ground so far just because of the war, and if they continue to protect the president from and not stopping him from continuing with the war, they're likely to lose even more ground.
Well, could renewed tensions revive political moves like a war powers resolution, or even discussions like past impeachment pressures tied to foreign policy decisions such as this one?
Most probably the Democrats would try to pull something like that, but I'm not sure that it will be successful. The American system in general has a clear division of powers, and when it comes to foreign policy, it is the purview of the president. The thing that the Congress can have, or the Congress does have leverage on, is the budget. So any military budget is under the control of Congress. So given that, again, the Republicans have the majority, they can protect the president from any impeachment procedures or any Wars Resolution Act. I don't think that that's actually a viable action that the Democrats can push.
So if you don't think that this is a viable action that they can push, what specific policy or military options are being discussed in Washington in connection with President Trump's upcoming plans?
So in general, it's pushing to deny him the funding. He is asking for $200 billion of additional funding, but also to try to push for investigations on how did this decision come about, putting any obstacles, any actions that would consume the time of the executive and would make them would make them have to respond at least to the popular demands of giving a chance to diplomacy more than escalating into full war again.
Well, is the administration leaning towards a show of force strategy, economic pressure, or direct engagement?
For now, it is pressure, economic and military and what have you. But it is also preparing for kinetic action, of course. It is preparing for hitting infrastructure, additional oil infrastructure specifically. The math is whether the U.S. can hit these, let's say, these energy facilities fast enough and strongly enough for the Iranian regime to capitulate, or for it to accept new terms for negotiations, and for the U.S. to be able to do that in a short enough time so that there isn't too big of a backlash from the global community, because hitting the energy sector in Iran is going to have a more profound impact on global markets and on pressure from the rest of the world on the U.S. to stop the war or stop any escalation if there is an escalation.
Well, Mr. Nizar, thank you very much for your valuable input. We would hope to have you once again in our live coverage. We will take a quick break and we will be back.
تؤكد وزارة الكهرباء